It's like a light crowd here, so go ahead and fire away.
Yeah.
Good
Go ahead.
practice today. Just ebb and flow.
Yeah, no, look, I thought it was good practice. I thought our guys got out here, competed. I thought we got better today. And, that's really what this time of year is all about.
Very spirited.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, right now we're competing against each other, but we're also competing against the other 31 teams in our league right now, and so all we can really focus on is what we're doing here and focus on trying to get better at something every single day. And look, we've worked a lot of situational type offense, defense, situations in the kicking game, and I think our guys have kind of had their head down and just gone to work.
Yeah, Chris Olave talked about making contested catches after he makes the big. How much have you seen him do?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's an area that we've talked to him, a couple of things, getting some run after catch, making these contested catches. I mean, that's part of, that's why we went up and got him when we did in the draft. And those are the type of plays that we know that he can make. Those are the type of plays that we expect him to make.
Derek said yesterday that knowing that this defense is as good as it has been, that he doesn't have to make a lot of risky throws, but he'll still choose times to be aggressive. And that play to Olave seemed, I mean, obviously it's OTAs, lower stakes, but can you give us a sense of how you see his philosophy and judgment evolving in terms of his selection of his passes?
Yeah, look, I think really playing the quarterback position is really about understanding all the elements of the game and how each game's being played out. Look, there's going to be some games where we play really good defensively and maybe we don't have to score as many points and understand how that game's being played out. There's going to be some times that we're going to have to score a significant amount of points to be able to win the game. And so I think each week that's going to be different. I think we'll see how that plays out as we get into the season.
Dennis, if Alvin Kamara is not available and you're running like option type routes or wheel routes, who would be like the second choice you think?
Yeah, look, honestly, Bobby, we're probably a little too early in the process to totally have that answer. I think that's why we have these days. We have training camp. That's something that we'll figure out as we go along. But we'll have a plan no matter what we're facing.
Another follow-up on Derek, more of a personality question. Interestingly, yesterday, and I'm interested in your perspective, he was kind of apologetic towards his previous team, saying they didn't get his best last year, and he's trying to learn how to, I guess, compartmentalize, simplify, be the best version of himself. Was there much talk about, when you were trying to get him in here, about his regrets and also his goals and stuff like in that kind of way?
Yeah, I don't think it was as much about regrets or goals. We talked about, really his whole career up to this point, and really, we talked about last year that he probably didn't have as good a season last year as what he may have wanted to have or anticipated having. I wasn't there in the building, so I can't really speak on that. All I can say is, when I watch him now, there's a clear focus on exactly what you said, being the best version of himself that he can be for this football team, and that's really where our focus is as we move forward. I think he's had an outstanding start to that.
Is there any way to measure progress for Trevor Penning who's not on the field? Can you guys look in the classroom and say oh, he's picking things up differently, or that he's ahead of last year? Does he have to be on the field to do that?
Games played on the field, you know what I mean? And so certainly there's a little bit of familiarity with what we're doing. He's further ahead mentally than he was at this point last year, but yet the progress will be determined once he gets out here on the field and actually starts taking some reps.
Dennis, the last day of minicamp practice, will we probably witness 3 straight days of working 2-minute offense and defense?
I'd have to go back and check the schedule, but I would anticipate that. I don't remember whether tomorrow is a red zone day or a 2-minute day. Bobby, I can't. I don't know what I'm doing 15 minutes from now, so I certainly don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. So, but yeah, what I will say is you can expect to see some more situational work, whatever that may be.
How important that is, closing out a half, obviously to end a game. Is that maybe where you see situational football with 2-minute offense and defense?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we talked about that in the team meeting today. You know, in where we were and how many one-score games we played in, and how many opportunities we had in the fourth quarter, whether it was a lead or tied, or whether we were down by one score. You know, that's, you know, the teams that are playing in the tournament at the end of the year, you know, generally when you look back, they're pretty good in those one-score games, and so it's certainly an area of emphasis and something that we've talked about.
What are some of the things that Alante is trying to translate to just covering the slot from the outside?
I think it's more just a feel for being in there. You know, that game inside is totally different than the game outside. There's a lot more mental processing that has to take place, you know, as you play in there. So I think he's still sorting through some of that mental process right now. And again, like I said, I keep saying this, like that's exactly what this time of year is for. Is we got a lot of guys playing in a lot of different positions, doing a lot of different things. We're gonna put a lot on all our guys to see what they can do, and then it's our job as coaches, once we figure out those things, to put them in the positions to do the things that they do really well.
How more mental processing at that position? Like, can you give an example of what different things he would have to think about that he wouldn't have to on the outside?
Well, there's a lot of times where, you know, when you're covering a receiver sitting out here outside the numbers, there's only a certain amount of branches on the route tree that they're going to be able to run, but yet now all of a sudden they're inside in the slot. It kind of opens up the whole route tree, the whole field. There's different routes that happen inside than what you're seeing, you know, on the outside. So that's part of that mental processing. There's also a lot more things that you're having to post-snap make adjustments to, or even pre-snap make adjustments to. And so you know, that's I think it's one of the more difficult positions to play in terms of you know, physical ability, but yet mental processing also.
More rub routes in the slot too, you think, or is that about the same across?
Yeah, no. Look, and all corners have to deal with. You call them rubs. All right, defensive mind tells me you call them picks, but same concept, right? You know, so but everybody has to deal with that. You know, you don't see as many teams now. Used to several years ago, you got a lot of these all spread out formations, 2x2, 3x1. Everybody's kind of running more individual routes, and then all of a sudden now you're seeing a lot more bunch. You're seeing a lot more stack. You know, a lot more of these picks, rubs, crossers, things like that you have to deal with, and you know, corners are having to deal with that a little bit more than maybe what they used to.
Dennis, the long one near the end of practice from Derek to Olave, how satisfying is seeing one like that at this point?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, right? You know, I mean, I was over there calling the defenses, and you know, you don't like to see that, but you know, here's the great thing about that, and I said this to the team. We were working a situation. We're down 5. Okay, in a 2-minute drill, we score the touchdown. Now we're thinking go for 2, get up by 3. Defense can't do anything about the last play that just happened. We got to stop this 2-point conversion, give our offense the ball back, have a chance to go down, get the ball into field goal range, and kick the field goal to win the game. So we're working all those different angles as we go through this process.
And the defense responded with a stop on that.
Yeah, they got the stop on the 2-point play, and so now, as a coach, I'm saying, look, put our offense back out there. Let's go see if we can go down in a 2-minute drive, kick the field goal, and win the game. And we've done that through the course of my time here. We've done that a lot.
Is Cam Jordan's absence injury related? I know you don't want to get specific.
Yeah, I call it old age related.
Okay.
You know, but Cam's fine. He'll be fine. All good?